do teach courses in fairy tales at both the undergraduate and the graduate level, and the students are very enthusiastic about the courses because they're all familiar with at least one version, right, of each fairy tales. But we look at a variety of versions, and we also look how they've been adapted into modern times. Maybe the most interesting provenance of one of the tales is Cinderella. There are versions of Cinderella dating back to the 9th century China. Now, it's not called Cinderella, but it has all the basic elements. In particular, the shoe motif, right? And this may be somehow related to the emphasis that Chinese culture puts on small feet, and women having small feet, and that's very much, an aesthetic ideal. Even though most of the tales are European in origin, and like Robin Hood, a lot of them come out of the Middle Ages, there are analogs from all around the world with many of the tales. Yeah, in so many of the fairy tales, both biological parents aren't present. And so what this does is sets the stage for an interesting story because the character won't have the benefit or the guidance of both parents, so they're kind of on their own to a certain degree, and which makes them vulnerable. Very often the parental figure will be represented by a godmother figure or a good fairy, right? Or very often they'll be helped out by animals along the way. And one fairy tale scholar says we should call them animal tales because there are more animals, right, than fairies in the classic tales. Yeah, I would say cautionary tale is a good way, is a good approach. They're very often told to teach lessons. Little Red Riding Hood, there are several versions of Little Red Riding Hood. In the Charles Perrault version, the French version, she's gobbled up and there's no woodsman, right, to give her a second chance. But Perrault pens a moral stating, watch out for wolves, watch out for those wolves that don't even look like wolves, right, but might follow you into your boudoir because tamed wolves are sometimes the most dangerous. So he's writing in 17th century aristocratic France and essentially warning young female aristocrats about the old male aristocrats.